couple weeks ago, we took our unusual, most impractical overland build out on its first real trip. From northern Illinois all the way to the very tip of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. All in all, about 1,200 miles.
Everything went great until, well, you'll see. This is our story. The first day was 8 hours of driving state and county highways across the length of Wisconsin, south to north. But we're not going to bore you with that. We did, however, have an issue that had to be addressed. So what are you doing?
Well, because of the carbon monoxide issue we've been having, I'm thinking that it's getting up through where the back end was chopped off to make it a Baja bug. There's open passages, and I believe it comes up into the body through those. So we stopped at Walmart and got some of this sticky foam insulation, and I'm going to try to seal up these gaps. So hopefully that'll work. I'm not totally convinced that's the problem, but it's worth a try. Boy, there's not much room back here.
Bright and early the next morning, we got off pavement and started heading further north, taking mostly national forest roads and trails.
So we found a little trail off the main trail that goes back into a little lake, and we're gonna go check it out. Okay, so it turns out it did not make it all the way back to the lake, and it's kind of rough and very rutted, and we're crossing our fingers that we can get back out of here. Whew, we made it out of that one. Let's go find another trail like that. Well, that put an end to it. I guess there's no place to turn around, so I guess we'll have to practice our backing skills.
Wah, wah, wah.
Alright, let's see how much we had left over. Get our fuel gauge. About 3/8 of a tank. One pump. 91 octane. I hope they take a credit card inside. They don't at the pump. So here in camp, I'm doing a little inspection on the old rod, and I'm not seeing anything wrong with it. No leaks, well, no more than what we started out with anyways, but all the beating and banging around we did today on all those service roads, I don't see anything loose or out of place, so I think we're good to go. We do need to clean off this air filter today. It's very, very dusty. One thing we're going to have to fix when we get home is our rear skid plate is acting kind of like a scoop shovel, and it's collecting a lot of mud and grasses in here, so we're going to have to close that up somehow. But it didn't get in too far, just a couple inches. Same thing with the front. Nothing is loose. Our kingpin and link pins are still nice and tight. I adjusted those right before we left, so they didn't come out of adjustment again, thank goodness. Yeah, nothing else is bent. Tie rods are still straight. We did beat up our skid plate underneath here, but that's to be expected. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, we're good to go. I have confidence that we'll make it through tomorrow unscathed.
Well, we're all ready to leave, but the weather's not.
All right, the rain let up just enough to take the tent down. We didn't even make coffee or anything. We're gonna head into a town, grab some coffee, some fuel, and figure out what we're gonna do today. I don't know how muddy all the roads are gonna be, but we're gonna find out and maybe have to readjust our plans a little bit. One thing I do know about this bug is you can't see out of it when it's raining like this. Windshield wipers work all right, but yeah, there is no defroster. We need to get some sort of fan to blow on here. That and our alternator belt is squealing quite a bit. Hear it? It'll be all right. All right, finally, we got to a gas station, got some gas and some coffee. Yeah, it was really nice weather all throughout the night until about 5 o'clock this morning, and then it was a torrential downpour. It's about 9:15 now. We waited around until about 8 o'clock to see if the rain would let up, and it never really did very much. So we said, to hell with it, we're not going to sit in the tent all day. So we scrambled, took the tent down wet, which I never like to do because now it's completely saturated. But yeah, now we're nice and comfortable in the bug. It seems to be running okay in the rain. We're really putting this thing through its paces with all the rough roads and now the torrential downpours it's going through with an open engine cover, no engine cover on it at all, so it's getting rained on. But it's performing well. Now we are going to get on another trail. I just talked to some locals here in the gas station. They said that this trail we're going to go on is really solid. It's not too awfully muddy. There's going to be some running water over it in places, but we'll figure that out when we come to it.
Swim.
Yeah, we'll swim across. We'll hook a rope to this and pull it across.
We got the winch.
Oh yeah, we got a winch. Yeah.
Right.
What do we got to worry about? All right, see you later. So we're gonna go back out on the highway for a little while. Well, the rain let up just enough so we can get out
and look at these old copper mine ruins.
Alright, so it rained like crazy all day yesterday, into the night, late into the night. And now this morning, it's overcast. They're calling for being overcast all day. The chance of rain is down to about 50%. It's going to be windy and a high of about 52. So not the most ideal conditions to be driving an old VW Beetle with no heat. But it started this morning. The alternator doesn't like getting going early in the morning when it's damp. We've noticed that. But now we're on the road and we're up to speed and it's looking good so far. Going back to our issue with the carbon monoxide getting into the cabin, I think we have it pretty much solved. It is coming through the channels of the body, back where they cut off the back to make it a Baja bug. Those channels are open. It helped when we put this seal up around all the perimeter, and then it helped a little bit with taking the flapper cap off the exhaust and getting the exhaust to go up more. But what really helped this morning was I stuffed the hole where normally the dome light goes with a paper towel. I think we're good to go now. I smell it a little bit. There's some improvement to be done there, but I think we're good. I think we'll survive.
We finally made it up to Lake Superior, but we're not up to the top of the peninsula yet. We'll get there today.
So this looks like a great black sand beach. This is not natural. This is actually tailings from a huge copper mining operation that was here. And this sand is just the ground up rock where they took the copper out, and it's actually kind of toxic. There are heavy metals, and I believe they found traces of arsenic in this sand. So this is kind of a huge environmental issue up here, but it's fun to drive on.
Finally made it to Copper Harbor, Michigan.
The town of Copper Harbor is the furthest north you can drive in Michigan, but the very tip of the peninsula is further east. And the only way to get to it is, well,
Well, we made it out to High Rock Point or Bay or whatever it's called. We wouldn't have normally have done it because it's a bit of a difficult trail for a little two-wheel drive like this, but we had to do it because there were some people who said the little bug wouldn't make it. Well, it made it out here. Let's see if it'll make it back out.
I'm a little wet.
And a little wet. Yeah, the floor is wet. We took on some water in some of the deeper puddles, but it'll dry out, right? We'll park on an angle tonight and have it just drain out.
Sure.
While the adrenaline was still pumping, we decided to tackle another trail that somewhat paralleled the one we just successfully conquered.
Luckily, common sense took over and recommended that we not press our luck. So after 2 long days of rain, cold, and wind, we got a motel room in town.
And an awesome Friday night fish fry. But first, we went into this fancy restaurant right on the lake in the afternoon just to make a reservation for that night. Yeah, we came in all wet and muddy and probably a little smelly. We haven't had showers yet. And the hostess looked us up and down and told us, "I don't think we'll have a table for you this evening."
So we went to a bar and grill on the main street and had an amazing meal. It was a fitting way to celebrate our accomplishment.
But we're not finished yet. We have a lot more to see and do. yesterday that this thing does not like getting the ignition wet. So this morning, we're gonna pop the cap, the starter cap off, and let this nice Lake Superior wind do its magic and dry this out a little bit before we get going this morning. Alright, now that we're on the highways, after what, three full days of beating and banging on this thing, now that we're up 55, 60 miles an hour, it rides and drives just like it was a new car. I tell you what, and that's with a suspension that was designed over 90 years ago. It's more like a tractor suspension than any modern vehicle, and it just rides perfectly smooth. I'm impressed.
After leaving the Lake Superior shoreline, we went looking for waterfalls, and Michigan never disappoints.
Okay, so here's the deal. We got about 3 hours from home and we're done. We think that the throwout bearing is out of it. We're dead in the water. We have no clutch. So Merri's Googling U-Haul, see if we can get a tractor or a trailer and a truck or something to so we can get it the rest of the way home. Yeah, we stopped to clean some bugs off the windshield. I get back in and the clutch just went right to the floor. The cable's not snapped or anything. The cable's working all the way to the back, but for some reason it's not. It's just not working. So yeah, we're gonna try to limp this thing home on a trailer or a flatbed or whatever we can find. Well, it's on there. Hopefully it won't come off. All right, we got a U-Haul. The place where we got the U-Haul was damn near an hour away. Luckily, this guy that just randomly stopped just to look at the bug, he gave us a ride to there and helped us push the thing up on the trailer. We think it's the throwout bearing, but we're not 100% certain. To get that out, we would have to pull the motor out, and we'd be here all day. We figured, let's just cut our losses, get a U-Haul and just haul it home, and that way we'll get home today, we'll be able to pick up the dogs, we'll be able to get to work tomorrow, and all is good. Yeah, it's just, thankfully he came along when he did. It turns out he's a car guy, he's a drag racer. He's got a really nice Torino sitting in his driveway. We drove past his house, and he's got a bunch of other drag cars.
Huge thanks to Justin Bowie of Dying Breed Customs in Nishkora, Wisconsin.
It's kind of a sad way to end a trip, having to, haul it home on a trailer, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
As a side note, kind of funny, but it's not. After we got the bug up on the trailer, I went to start this U-Haul, and it barely cranked over. I think the battery is shot in it. So Merri is supposed to remind me not to shut it off until we get home.
So, would we do it again?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Yes, our 4Runner is more comfortable and capable,
And reliable.
but we've been growing bored with that. We have been needing more of a challenge. Taking a 64-year-old Volkswagen Beetle on a 1,200-mile trip certainly got my spirits up and my heart beating.
Okay, but not every trip that we go on is going to be in the Wonderbug.
Fair enough. Every other one.
Depends.
Now, if you like this video, please hit that like button.
And we hope you consider subscribing to our channel.
Thanks for
Thanks for watching.